Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A lot of you have been asking me to talk about the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam and all the different things that revolve around his life, such as what was so special about his chair or his throne on which he would sit. So we will talk about that in great detail today. And another question that came after the last lecture on Sulaiman alayhi salam was about the Surah Sad, ayah number 34, that وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا سُلَيْمَانَ. We talked about that part of the ayah. وَأَلْقَيْنَا عَلَى كُرْسِيِّهِ جَسَدًا ثُمَّ أَنَابَ. And placing a deformed body on his throne. So what is that deformed body that is being talked about in that ayah? We will talk about that in the next lecture, but today our focus is to talk about the chair or the throne of Sulaiman alayhi salam, on which he would sit while his court would be in session, or he would sit while he would make decisions, or as a judge. And this is reported by Shihabuddin Ahmad bin Ahmad Salama Qalyubi. He's from Egypt. He died approximately 400 some years ago in 1659. Or if you're talking about the Hijrah calendar, it was 1069 Hijrah. He was in Misr or Masr in Egypt, in a place called Qalyub, which is not too far away from Qahira or Cairo. In his book, Hikayat al-Qalyubi, he talks about this as Sulaiman alayhi salam's strange chair from Ajaib or Gharaib. Sulaiman alayhi salam, when he decided to hold his court, he ordered jinn to build a chair for him. And he wanted them to build a chair for him that is unheard of. Nobody has it. And it would have things that would really not just be mesmerizing, but would actually have a great influence on the person standing in his court. And it would have a great haybah. It would be magnificent, that people would dare to lie. I mean, would not dare to lie. I mean, they would be so overwhelmed by the presence of the chair that they will speak nothing but truth. So when the angels, when the jinns started building the chair, they used different things in the construction of the chair. For example, they used the elephant trunks in building the chair, and then they used different kinds of pearls. They used emerald. They used ruby, and they used pearls, so they used different kinds of stones in building this particular. And then, not only that, around the chair, they started building some carvings, which were actually made from different kinds of jewels. So it was a jeweled carvings. It was not just, a wood carving. So they basically made it so magnificent and so wealthy looking. And then what they did, they put two date palm tree-like stones made from pure gold. And then they build its branches from silver. And then they actually built 4 trees, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. And the 2 trees, on top of the 2 trees, they built parrots made from gold. And the other 2 trees, they built 2 vultures sitting on top of those trees. And then at the corner of the 2 corners of the chair, they built 2 lions. And these lions, and I'll tell you more about these lions were not just statues. Because remember, in one of the ayahs we talked about that the jinns would build tamathil for Sulaiman alayhi salam. But in this particular case, it was not just a statue, but it was a mechanical statue. Probably some kind of a sensor was built into it. I'll talk more about it. But these 2 lions that they built in the corners, they each had on their heads were actually made from green emerald. And then they build some kind of a pillar on top of them. And then these jinns, when they're building this massive chair, they they put it on top of a huge rock. The rock itself was so magnificent because, rocks have properties. When you look at them, they have an effect on you. They architected this based on the specifications given by Sulaiman alayhi salam. Sulaiman alayhi salam was very specific in his specifications, and they were building in according to what he told. And then on top of that, there was one very cool thing about this chair, that it would take a 360-degree turn. Subhanallah. And then what they did, they built a snake. The movement of the snake would actually make the chair rotate 360 degrees. It just looked like as if snake is rotating the chair. And then they built steps that from the ground up to the chair, they built steps. Every time Sulaiman alayhi salam will put his foot on one of the steps, the chair would rotate with everything on it. All the stones and all the emeralds and rubies and the stone and the trees and the lions, everything will rotate with it. It's just like building something, like on every step it was some kind of a mechanical thing that they did, that every time Sulaiman alayhi salam would put his foot on one of the steps, it would exert pressure, and through force some mechanical thing will happen and the whole chair will rotate. Subhanallah. Every step he would do, the chair would do something like that. And not only that, they also build peacocks. And as I already told you, that they put vultures on top of a couple of the trees, and they also build peacocks. And at this point, when the chair is rotating, these peacocks and these vultures will open their wingspans. As you know how the wings of peacock, they open very differently than the wingspan of a vulture. So they would just open their wings, showing this magnificence. And these are considered to be big birds. And then on top of that, it's not. And the lions would basically extend their paws forward, their feet forward, and would strike their tails very heavily on the ground, making a very loud sound. So this would happen in every step. And on top of that, this is not it. Every time, this would happen in every step he would be going up. And then when Sulaiman alayhi salam would reach the base of the chair and he would sit down, it was such that the two vultures will lower his crown on his head. SubhanAllah. I mean, like, can you even imagine what kind of magnificence would that be? And this is that, and then at that time, fragrance will be sprinkled on him from musk and amber. From musk and amber, the fragrance will be will come down in form of the mist. And then when Sulaiman alayhi salam is sitting on this throne, at that time, a pigeon would basically present to you a copy of Zabur, which is the book of Dawood alayhi salam, the Psalms. And then Sulaiman alayhi salam will read that to the people in his court. Allahu Akbar. On the right side of Sulaiman alayhi salam were the ulama of Bani Israel, and they would be sitting on chairs made from gold. And on the left-hand side, he had chairs made from silver on which the chiefs from the tribes of the jinns would be sitting. So he was honoring the chiefs from the jinns, and he's honoring the ulama from the humans, and then they are sitting on his right and left sides, subhanAllah. And this is, can you imagine what kind of magnificence that would be in his court? And then anytime somebody would enter in his court and he is making a decision for them, so as the person would see the entire chair rotating with everything on it, and would see the movement of the lion, the movement of the peacock, the movement of the vulture, people would be like, wow. And people would not even dare to lie in his court. So when Sulaiman alayhi salam passed away, a king from Persia, the Bukht Nasr or Nebuchadnezzar, he came and he took this chair and he took it with him all the way to his kingdom. First day, when he tried to sit on it, to make it his chair, the lion, which is right on the corners of the chair, as soon as he came forward, lion struck him with his front feet or paw, whatever you want to call it, and then as a result, his leg got hurt, and it used to ache till his last breath. So after this incident happened, he stopped sitting on this chair and he kept it on the side, and then this chair stayed in the city of Antakya for a very long time, till Qaras bin Saddas, he fought the people of Antakya, and then he defeated the army of this Persian king, and then he took this chair, the throne, back to Bayt al-Maqdis. But no king would dare to ever sit on it, even in the Bayt al-Maqdis. And then this particular chair was put under the Sakhra, and after that, the chair vanished. And nobody knows where it went. Some people believe that children of Israel are still looking for it, as they're looking for other things, other signs. They're also looking for this particular chair. Allah knows best. But these are the details that are reported by Shihabuddin Ahmad bin Salama Qalyubi in his work Hikayat al-Qalyubi. I hope this strange set of information must be extremely mesmerizing for you. And we don't know 100% what kind of technology Sulaiman alayhi salam had, what kind of engineering he had access to, and what kind of things were built for him by the humans and the jinns, and what kind of powers he had. In its entirety, we don't understand it. So a lot of the time when we present this information, people are like, how is it possible? How is it possible? And my question is, why is it not possible? Assalamu alaikum.